Hello, this is Bob Gray Sr. Welcome to Ministry Moments. Lord willing, every Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time. Subscribe to Ministry Moments podcast, and you'll get it every week. And Ministry Moments YouTube, and you'll get it every week. And then Ministry Moments solvechurchproblems.com. And you'll be able to get it. And if you want to watch it live every Friday, 3 o'clock Central Time, that's fine. But if you want to just set it aside for some other more convenient time for you, you can do that also. This is not very long. It's not a long sermon. It's you and I having a chat. If you can imagine me sitting down in your office or you in my office and me having a chat with you about the ministry, this is what I would love to do. This sounds terrible. You're going to think bad of me, but you already do. So if I were a young preacher, I'll tell you what I would do. No, my age, I'm at 76, 50 years in the ministry. Here's what I would do. I would subscribe to these ministry moments because we can learn from a lot of mistakes that I've made and others have made, can't we? And things that worked and things that didn't work. I would subscribe to Ministry Moments YouTube. I would. And I'd subscribe to Ministry Moments solvechurchproblems.com. I'll tell you what else I would do. I would go to Twitter. Bob Gray, is that how you pronounce it? Twitter? I don't know. But I would subscribe to where I got those tweets every day. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to give you every day a quote every day. I'm going to give you a ministry idea every day. You won't have to wait till Friday to get this broadcast. But I will give you, if you'll go on there and subscribe. And now one of them told me the other day, I've got 5,000 on one. They say I can't add any more. I don't know what that's all about. I don't understand all that. I don't understand how it works. I'm just telling you that I would plead, beg, and borrow and steal to get those, Brother House, you say I'd travel 1,000,000 miles for one truth. And I can give you a daily quote and it'd be insightful. It'll make you think. And then I'm going to give you an idea, ministry day idea. Can you imagine 365 days a year, every day, a ministry idea? So today on our podcast and our YouTube broadcast and our solvechurchproblem.com, I want to talk to you about influence, because I think it's very, very important, especially the younger you are, you're going to have to be very careful about whom you allow to influence. Now, let me give you definitions of influence. Are you ready? Capacity to affect character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Let me say it again. Capacity, that's you give them that capacity, influence. Capacity to affect character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Maybe your church, maybe your college, maybe your high school, grade school, whatever it might be. But that someone or something. And that as the man of God, as the leader, you have got to be very careful about influence, very, very careful about who you allow to influence you. Now, with that in mind, let me give you some ideas here on influence. Number one, there's a second one. Power to shape policy is another definition. Power to shape policy. We've been living through a horrible few years of bad policies coming from the federal government. I mean, terrible policies. And it's going to get worse. This is not going to be a storm on the horizon. It's going to be a hurricane on the horizon. But power to shape policy. And then the third one's influence, good or bad. Influence is good or bad. It can go either way. It could be a bad influence, which affects policy. It affects your character, your development, and affects someone or something that are looking to you. Anyway, with that in mind, let me give you some thoughts here. Boy, this is going to be short today. Boys, we're getting out of here. We're going to get us a Big Mac and fries and a Diet Coke. The Diet Coke may balance everything out. All right, here we go. Number one, look to the great men of God of the past. Look to the great men of God of the past. It would do you good to get some of those old recordings of J. Frank Norris. It would do you good to get some of those old sword books down again and read them again. Read them again and again and again. Slow Winter's Fire by Dr. John Rice. Powerful. I don't even know if it's even in print now. But Oh my goodness, you're talking about powerful. And question and answer. You say, well, I don't agree with everything. He said, well, you're a lot smarter than you are, that's for sure. But you can spit out that which you know is wrong from the Bible. You can do that easily. But boy, they did great things. They did great things. All right. So number one, look to the great men of the past. Number two, read biographies of great men. That's what Brother Howes did. Brother Howes read biographies of great men. I got a whole set. My wife bought me a whole set of Stonewall Jackson. And oh, I loved reading that. I loved reading it. He started the first Black Sunday school of his day. And in one part there, he forgot to send his tithe back. So he sent it back and added 5% late fee. But he sent it back and apologized because he had not sent his tithe back. But anyway, I gave that set to Dr. Wendell Evans and he loved it. I bought him a set, I should say. I didn't give him mine. All right. So look to the great men of the past. Read biographies of great men, character, developing character, old school. I can still see John Rawlins standing in my pulpit erect. I can still see Lester Roloff erect. It wasn't hunched over at all. Oh, you're talking about great men, great men. Number three, you're not going to like this one, but do not follow contemporaries. I don't care if they're running 10,000, buddy. You don't do it because you don't know the end of it yet. That's the great thing about looking at the great men of God of the past. You know the beginning, the middle, and the end. So do not follow contemporaries. Don't let contemporaries shape your ministry or shape your thought or shape your philosophy. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're walking alongside you and they can only see as far as you can see and you can only see as far as they see. And if you let them, I remember with Brother Howes, I paid attention to everything he did. But when pastors would ask him questions, he said over and over again, I'll not tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I did. And after I got my nerve up, I said, why do you say that? He said, because I'm not going to experiment with their ministry. They're a man of God just like I am. And I can only do it from the perspective of what I did that worked and didn't work. So I thought that was wise. I'm not going to experiment with their ministry. All right. So I went to him one time, sat down in his office. When I got done, I poured my heart out. And he looked at me and said, Brother Gray, I haven't the foggiest idea what to tell you to do. I was so mad at him. The greatest man I ever knew. And yet he said, I can't help you. I've not the foggiest idea what to tell you. All right, look to the great men of the past. Read biographies of great men. Do not follow contemporaries. Don't do it. Now, I like them and I'll help them if they'll ask me. But I'm not going to shape my policies and philosophy based on them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Next, read and reread without a critical eye the great men of the past. Brother Howes wrote a book, The Great Men I Have Known. Never talked about the bad, talked about the good. And he became a composite of all the greatness of all those men in his life, I think. And so, but I'd read and reread those books. And so I don't believe in storehouse tithe the way John Rice did. Well, he's in heaven now, and he agrees with me and you. But good grief, they're so articulate. I remember Rush Limbaugh saying over and over again, if somebody could just articulate conservatism. And he's right. He's right. Holler and scream about it, but nobody can articulate it like William Buckley could, or like Rush Limbaugh could. And like Jack Hyles could, and John Rice, and so on. But read and reread without being a critical eye of the great men of the past who are successful. Number 5, this is the last point. You've got to be proud of me. When great men such as Dr. Jack Hyles are excluded from the conversation, find the nearest exit. Let me say it again. When great men of the past, such as Dr. Jack Hyles, are excluded from the conversation, find the nearest exit. Run as fast as you can, because there's nothing but disaster waiting for you at the end of the road. I'm just telling you, I've learned a few things in these 50 years. I'm 76. I got saved at age 11. That's 65 years. Is it 65? Let's see, 76, 11, 5, 65. Yeah, I got it right. But I'm just saying to you, let me tell you something. I've learned an awful lot in these 50 years. And one thing I've learned, buddy, when they start running John Rice down, they start running Jack Hiles down, or Tom Malone, but you just keep on talking to yourself, because I'm not in this conversation at all. Not that I'm not going to be. My family was influenced by these great men. My ministry is influenced by these great men. I did my best to give it to our kids and our grandkids. And don't you judge me by my grandchildren, by my children. Don't you do it. I'm proud of them, love them. But if they decide to do something cattywampus, some crazy thing, and I'm dead and I'm in heaven, and you look at them, don't you ascribe that to me, because I've stayed the same all these years, not changed at all. Now, I'm just simply saying influence, good or bad. It could be a capacity to affect character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Don't be a conduit to where bad hurts your church. Don't you do it. Next, power to shape policy. That's influence. Influence can be good or bad. And when it flows through you, it's going to affect those that are around you and those under you, in fact, those looking to you. God bless you. Welcome to the Ministry Moments podcast, YouTube, and solvechurchproblems.com. Subscribe now. That way you'll get it every week, and you can look at it at your own leisure. God bless you. Tomorrow, soul winning time. We've got to win people to Christ, get them ready for Sunday school, which is the start of church. And so you have a great weekend, great soul winning weekend. God bless you.